So I just watched Anora, the latest movie from director Sean Baker, who's also done movies like Tangerine, The Florida Project, and Red Rocket. Baker's sensitivity to telling stories about marginalized people in society, showing all of their flaws, in some cases fully exposing them, if you will, while always digging deep into the humanity at the same time. No matter how much you as an audience member don't agree with their actions, decisions, or characters, they're always compelling to watch. And Baker leaves a lot up for interpretation. Without getting too far off track, that's what makes him one of the greatest voices in filmmaking and one of my personal favorites. Anora follows a 23-year-old dancer, sex worker living in Brooklyn, yearning for love and escape from her bleak circumstances. When she meets Vanya, a wealthy 21-year-old that's the son of a Russian oligarch, she sees a chance at a fairy tale ending. On the surface, it sounds like a run-of-the-mill modern telling of Pretty Woman. A rich man swoops down and saves this misunderstood sex worker type stuff. But no, what happens when a fairy tale collides headfirst with harsh reality? The answer turns a romantic drama into a comedy, and it's surprisingly hilarious. Baker's movies have this raw slice of life feel that are primed with situational and character comedy, and Anora is no different. The humor isn't forced or over the top. It's rooted in awkwardness of real life. Like the character of Vanya, son of the Russian oligarch, his quirky, boyish charm and his carefree attitude with limitless resources to do anything he pleases. If he wants to, he could jump on a private plane and fly to a remote destination to party for weeks on end. And the way Mark Eidelstein plays that is pitch perfect, with the nuances that will always keep you questioning his character until he makes it abundantly clear by the end of the movie. When we're introduced to Vanya's handlers, Toros, Garnick, and Igor, that's when the movie takes a turn into more of a thriller. The dialogue between Anora and these three goons is hilarious, and they all have their own unique parts to play in the movie, especially Igor, played brilliantly by Yuri Borisov. And that humor really wouldn't work without Baker's phenomenal direction. Baker doesn't just tell a story, he drops you right into the gritty, messy, authentic lives of his characters. The world feels so realized and honest, every scene meticulously crafted to make you feel like a fly on the wall. One of Baker's many strengths is taking flawed, messy characters and making you care about them. Anora, played with raw vulnerability, is a young woman desperate for an escape. Her life up until meeting Vanya has been all about surviving. In the beginning of the movie, we're shown explicit sequences of a day in the life as a dancer at the club, so that when we are introduced to Vanya, we can see the stark difference of how she interacts with him versus her clientele. And it's really up to the audience to interpret her true feelings towards him. Does she love him, or does she love the lifestyle and freedom he represents? Vanya is shown as a sort of charming but selfish, impulsive guy who shows glimpses of genuine feelings for Anora, but it's always shrouded in the thrill of partying, alcohol, and drugs, with very little genuine interaction, which as a viewer you could chalk up as just immaturity, and that's part of the character and one of the themes of the movie. The realities of the two characters has molded them. Anora is more mature because of her circumstances, forcing her to grow up faster than Vanya, but she's still young and naive, and Vanya, having everything taken care of in his life, has made him very immature. And I actually think that the age difference is an intentional choice to try and throw the audience off in the beginning to justify Vanya's immaturity. But that's just a theory. Then there's Igor. Because this is meant to be spoiler free, I won't go too deep into Igor, but his character's journey reveals one of the biggest flaws in Anora. Yuri Borisov plays the kind-hearted and empathetic handler with ease, who subtly steals the scenes where he's showing sincerity and patience. Anora dives deep into the themes of power dynamics, the idea of can you afford me, and if you can, what will it cost me in the end? Wealth and class disparity. There are stark differences in how you view the world and the people in it depending on where you are in the totem pole, and the illusions we chase. Anora's story is a clash between wanting love and escaping her circumstances. Vanya represents that illusion, a chance at a better life. The movie also tackles how societal expectations and desperation can trap people in cycles of exploitation. All the supporting cast is great in the movie, but Mikey Madison can't be understated as the title character. She delivers a deeply vulnerable and nuanced performance as Anora, capturing the character's quiet desperation and longing for something more in life. With her expressive eyes and those subtle gestures, Madison conveys Anora's internal struggles, balancing moments of hope, heartbreak, and self-doubt. Her portrayal feels raw and authentic, allowing the audience to empathize with Anora's choices and the emotional weight she carries. When it comes to the technical aspects of Anora, Baker once again proves he's a master in his craft. The use of natural lighting and vibrant, unpolished settings immerses you in the world of the characters, making every scene feel lived in and authentic. His choice to shoot in 16mm film gives Anora a raw, textured quality. The cinematography, as always, is perfectly aligned with Baker's knack for framing his characters in their environments. Whether it's a lavish mansion, a bustling urban street, or a quiet moment of introspection, every shot feels deliberate, conveying both the beauty and the struggle of the world Anora inhabits. The sound design plays a subtle role, layering the film with a mix of ambient noise, and honestly, I can't recall if there is a score in this. Dialogue is natural and often feels improvised, adding to the film's sense of realism. And let's not overlook the editing. While the pacing could have been tighter, the way Baker assembles scenes keeps you engaged. Transitions between moments of humor and tension and heartbreak all seamlessly, showcasing his ability to balance tones without losing focus. As much as I enjoyed Anora, I have to say the pacing drags in places. At just over 2 hours, it could have been a leaner, tighter runtime. Some scenes linger a little too long and feel repetitive in places. Trim 20 minutes and I think you've got a near perfect film here. Is Anora one of my favorite films of the year? Not quite, but it's still a fantastic movie, and Sean Baker proves once again that he's one of the most unique and creative forces in the industry. He has this uncanny ability to humanize these deeply flawed characters to show us their complex nature. This movie isn't for everyone. It's heavy, slow at times, and emotionally draining, but if you're a fan of Baker's work, you'll likely be thoroughly compelled by Anora. So, what happens when fairy tale meets false reality? Anora happens. That's what.